हेलो एंड वेलकम टू कंप्यूटोलॉजी एकेडमी। और आज हम लोग बात करेंगे कि जो 24 मार्च की हमारी करंट अफेयर्स की है। सो द डिस्कशन विल बी ऑन द वाइल्ड फायर क्राइसिस दैट इज going on in Tamil Nadu. So what are the causes, what are its impacts, and what are the mitigation strategies that should be followed? So today the current affairs is focusing on a very important environment and ecology as well as the geographic related topic, in which most of the time India witnesses in different regions and in different states of the total geographical extent of India the adverse impacts of wildfire. And it is an important topic because the conservation of the vegetation, the flora and the fauna and the biodiversity is a very important topic. And for that matter, we will discuss about the wildfire crisis that is occurring in Tamil Nadu. What are the causes related to this occurrence of the wildfire, what are the impacts, adverse impacts of this wildfire, and how it can be mitigated, what are the steps that should be taken. So this discussion is going to be very important from the point of view of your UPSC Civil Services GS paper 1 as well as GS paper 3 for the environment and ecology and disaster management portion. And here we will discuss all the perspectives which are related to this topic. So watch the video till the end so as to get assimilated with the all the informations those are related with this topic. And if you have not subscribed the channel till now, then please go on to subscribe the channel. Now let us start with the discussion. So first of all, Tamil Nadu has recently witnessed an increase in the wildfire incidents, and not only in Tamil Nadu, but many of the Indian states or the Indian geographical regions are witnessing this increase in the wildfire situation. Continuously, this is occurring in different regions of India, and this is because of the change in the climate. So particularly the western and the eastern Ghats are the regions which are most affected in the Tamil Nadu state because of this wildfire. And here this situation is getting exacerbated by the climate change. Basically climate change and the rise of the temperature, rising temperature related to this climate change is one of the major factor behind this rising trend of the wildfire, as well as the human induced activities. The anthropogenic activities are also one of the major factor behind this occurrences of the wildfire. हम लोग कहीं भी अपना एक अलग ही काम है, ठीक है. So the human activities are always behind any of the natural disaster or the man-made disaster. That is, the natural disaster gets exacerbated, its occurrence, its frequency, etc. gets exacerbated due to the human activities. However, this occurrence of the wildfire poses various threats to the human and the nature also. So first of all, the biodiversity basically gets adversely affected because of this wildfire. Many of the species of the flora and the fauna gets adversely impacted. Either they are forced to migrate from the region or they are getting extinct completely because of this forest fire. So the forest ecosystem overall, this gets disturbed, this gets diminished, and the balance ecosystem or in the ecological balance gets disturbed. Local livelihood of the people also gets impacted adversely. So many of the tribal groups are dependent on the forest ecosystem and the minor and the major forest produce which they go on to collect from the forest. Either they sell that or they use for subsistence, and for that matter their livelihood also gets adversely impacted. Regional climatic stability also gets disturbed because of the decrease in the vegetation due to this forest fire. There will be rise in temperature, as well as this forest fire will again contribute various gases and particulate matters that will also disturb the climatic condition of the region. So all this adversely impacts the climatic stability of the region also. So now come to the geographical distribution and the causes of the wildfire in the state of Tamil Nadu. So recently it was in news, that is why it is the point of focus and point of discussion. As well as we have discussed the forest fire of Uttarakhand also. We have discussed the forest fire of the northeastern regions also. You can find those discussions in the playlist itself. And why we are discussing this forest fires of different regions separately? Because the climatic condition, the annual range of temperature, the seasonal range of temperature, the presence of humidity, the presence of moisture, the presence of the species are all different in different regions and different parts of India, and that is why we need to discuss the topic separately, right? So here, first of all, we will talk about the vulnerable regions in the state of Tamil Nadu. So Western Ghats. First of all, we will go through Western Ghats. So here, the districts like Nilgiri, Coimbatore, and Theni. These are the districts which run through this Western Ghat. And in this is a rich in dry deciduous forest. This region is rich in dry deciduous forest and montane grasslands. And these both, dry deciduous forest and the montane grasslands, both are highly prone to summer season fires, because during the summer season what happens, these deciduous forests shed their leaves, so the dry leaves are available in the floor region of the that forest region, and this dry leaves prove to be very high flammability, and they prove to be an ready to burn available fuel for this forest fires. And because of that, there is increase in the incidences of the forest fire in the eastern Ghats region. Districts like Dharmapuri, Vellore, and Krishnagiri, these experiences the periodic wildfire due to the dry climatic conditions and anthropogenic factors. So in this region again, the eastern Ghats region, basically during the summer monsoon season when the temperature is high, this eastern Ghat region does not receive the rainfall. They basically receive the rainfall due to the retreating monsoon or the northeastern monsoon. When the northeastern monsoon starts from this October month, then this eastern Ghat region receives the rainfall in the regions, that is in the Coromandel coast and the adjacent areas in the eastern Ghats. And for that matter, during the summer season, this region remains dry, and this is the reason why this region also experiences the periodic wildfires, and that are natural as well as anthropogenic factors are also responsible for this type of forest fire in the state of Tamil Nadu in the Eastern Ghats region, right? Now, the reserved forest and the areas and the wildlife sanctuaries. So the reserve forest and areas of wildlife sanctuaries, basically the Muddumalai National Park, thereafter Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve, thereafter Annamalai Tiger Reserve. These are the regions of high risk zone with respect to the forest fire in the state of Tamil Nadu. So this is the distribution of the forest fire in different regions in the state. Now, if we talk about the natural causes of the forest fire, so what are the natural causes of this forest fire? First one is the high temperature range and that of the dry condition that is available in this region. So during the peak summer months, that is from March to May, they cause the dry vegetation. This, because of this, there is dry vegetation that is available in this region, and this make it highly flammable. So the deciduous forest shed their leaves, as well as the grasses that are available as the forest carpet, they are highly flammable, and because of this, they are a kind of ready fuel for the occurrence of the forest fire. Lightning strikes. So due to the thunderstorm and the other things, there are lightning strikes, though they are rare, but this lightning induced fires can ignite the dry vegetation, especially in the hilly slopes and the forested region. This also causes the forest fire. Thereafter, the El Nino effect. So basically this El Nino effect, which is also known as the southern oscillation, that is the dipole of this pressure in the southern part of the Indian Ocean and that of the southern part of the Pacific Ocean. Because of this, there is the impact of this pressure differential. This affects the monsoonal rainfall, leading to prolonged dry spells in the Indian subcontinent region, making the forest susceptible to the wildfires. So again, this is a major factor for the occurrence of the forest fires in the state. Now, the human induced causes of the wildfire. So, anthropogenic activities that may cause the forest fires. In this, the first one is the slash and burn agriculture, popularly known as the jhum cultivation. However, in the state of Tamil Nadu, it is also known as Podu. It is also known as Podu cultivation, and this practice is prevalent in some tribal communities in the state of Tamil Nadu also. And in fact, in most of the states you will find such kind of practice in the tribal dominated regions, and this is a very ancient practice which goes on even today, right? So here, this is one of the major factors, slash and burn farming for the forest fires. Next one is the tourism and the negligence. So carelessly the people discard their cigarette butts, campfires, burning of the waste often triggers the forest fires. Even in some cases, what happens if the people go on to do the camping work, then that bonfire residue that they left it out without extinguishing the fire in those bonfire places, and due to the wind velocity that gets spread out, and that may also cause the forest fire. Next is illegal timber logging and encroachment. So this is again causing the forest fire. Basically, clearing of the forest for agriculture and for settlement can lead to the accidental fires in the forested regions. This is again an anthropogenic region. Now, the ecological and the environmental impact of these forest fires. So basically what happens? Destruction of biodiversity. Destruction of biodiversity. Tamil Nadu's forests are home to the endangered species. Various endangered species are residing in this state, and in that Nilgiri tahar, Indian elephant, Bengal tiger, and Cylinder loris. These are the species that are found in this region, and in this region these are threatened, these are endangered, and they are at stake because of this forest fires. Next is the wildfires destroy the habitat and the food sources, causing the species displacement and ecological imbalance. So many of the species have to move away from this region because of this forest fire, because due to the forest fire many of the species face the problem of lack of the availability of the food resources for them, and because of this also they face the problem of the extinction. Next is the increased carbon emission and climate change. This is also occurring due to the forest fire. So basically what happens? Burning of the vegetation releases carbon dioxide, methane, and the particulate matter such as PM2.5 and PM10 both, and these are contributed to the atmosphere, and ultimately they are causing the global warming because these all are the greenhouse gases. Smoke from the wildfires worsens the air pollution condition in the local region. This increases the respiratory issues for the nearby communities because these nearby communities inhale the polluted air that is having the smoke, carbon soot, particulate matter, and all these are causing the cardiovascular and respiratory diseases to the people. Next is impact on the hydrology and soil erosion. So loss of vegetation reduces the water retention capacity, leading to the lower groundwater level in the region. So basically what happens due to the loss of vegetation? First of all, there will be higher rate of evaporation of the soil moisture because of the direct sunlight. Next is there will be low rate of percolation of the water because of the loss of this vegetation. As the surface runoff will increase, this will again reduce the groundwater level. Next is soil erosion will get intensified because of the higher rate of surface erosion, higher rate of aridity in the region, higher temperature in the region, as well as burning out of the surface cover of the top layer soil. This will lead to the loss of fertility of the soil, and ultimately this will affect the agriculture and the productivity of the region. So this is again a big problem. Next is socio-economic consequences of this wildfire. Socio-economic consequences of this wildfire. So this impact on the tribal communities and the local livelihood. This is a major impact that is caused due to the wildfire. So basically what happens, Tamil Nadu's indigenous communities such as Irula community and Toda tribes, Irula community and Toda tribes. And this Toda tribe, this was asked once in UPSC prelims also, that the Toda tribe is found in which of the following states. This was a question in UPSC prelims examination. So here this Irula and the Toda tribe rely on the forest resources for their sustenance, for their livelihood. So due to the forest fire, their sustenance, their livelihood gets impacted. Next is the wildfires disrupt the traditional hunting and the farming and the medicinal plant collection, also leading to the economic hardship of the people. So basically what happens, due to the wildfires, the animals will move out due to the lack of availability of the food in the region. So the lack of availability of the fauna will itself impact the hunting activity of the local tribes. Farming will get impacted because of the forest fires, because this will reduce the availability of the ground moisture and that of the groundwater also. And the medicinal plant collection will get impacted because the medicinal plants will get burnt down due to the forest fires, and because of this there will be problem of the availability of the medicinal plants, and all this will lead to the economic hardship of the tribal people who rely for their livelihood and sustenance on this forest produce. Next is agricultural and livestock losses. So basically the farmers face loss of the crops due to the fires spreading to their adjoining farmlands. So many of the times what happens, those farmlands which are adjacent to the forest lands, they also come under the impact of the forest fire. The forest fire engulfs their farmland also, and because of this their standing crop gets burnt down, and this causes loss of crop due to the spreading of the forest fire. Grazing lands are also destroyed because of the impact of this forest fire. So there are possibility that the whole grass of the grazing land will get churned out, get burnt down because of the forest fire. So this will impact the livestock rearing economy also. So these are the prevalent conditions, these are the ill effects of this forest fire in the local communities. And displacement and health hazard, displacement and health hazard. So due to the forest fires, what happens, forced evacuation and the damages of the homes, leading to temporary or the permanent displacement of the people. So during the actual occurrence of the forest fire, first of all what happens, the government goes on to implement the rescue operations. These are conducted by the government. So forced evacuation of the people is done. And if there is a condition that the home, the dwellings, etc. gets destroyed because of this forest fire, so in that situation the people are unable to return back to their living places, their dwellings, their villages, and because of this there are chances of temporary or the permanent displacement of the tribal people in the region. And there is a possibility that in certain conditions, if the frequency of the occurrence of this forest fire is more often, then in that situation the government themselves go on to subsidize the people, go on to help out the people to move out from that location. So these are the situations. The release of the toxic gases and smoke causes the breathing difficulties, lung infection, cardiovascular diseases, etc. among the affected people. So those people who are living in the nearby region of this forest fire occurrence region, so in those regions, mainly due to the smoke, carbon soot and the pollutants that are contributed to the local environment due to this forest fire, the people get affected because of this forest fire, and they face various disease conditions there released due to the forest fire and the resultant environmental impact because of this forest fire. So they may get infected due to this. Lung infections may be there may be difficulty in the breathing, there may be cardiovascular diseases or the respiratory diseases among the people. So this may be the situation. Now if we talk about the mitigation measures and the management strategies, mitigation measures and the management strategies. So in this what happens, the forest fire early warning system should be installed. So basically satellite based monitoring should be started utilizing the ISRO, NASA and FSI, etc. So real time detection of the heat signatures will help in early intervention. So in those regions where the temperature is increasing abnormally in the forested areas, and if that is a deciduous region, there is less rainfall, arid like condition or semi arid condition, and in those regions where the trees are of deciduous nature as well as the oil secreting trees which may catch fire quite easily, so in those regions there may be some early intervention so as to reduce the occurrences of the forest fire. Forest fire alert systems should be there in India. So use of meteorological data to predict and notify the potential forest fire prone areas. So in many of the region, you people might have witnessed that the messages from the IMD is circulated among the local peoples in those regions where there is more propensity of the forest fire in the locality. So in general you will find the notification messages in your mobile that there are possibilities of the forest fire, so stay away from this and take the preventive measures. All those kind of information are circulated. Basically the predicted nature of this occurrence of the forest fire, and thereafter the people are getting notified by the Indian Meteorological Department. Next is the preventive measures. Preventive measures. So controlled burns, conducting small and controlled fires in the forest to reduce the excess of dry vegetation. Basically that proves to be the fuel for this region, and for that matter the forest fires can be the minimized through reducing the availability of the fuel in this region. Next is fire breaks and buffer zones. Fire breaks and buffer zones, so creating gaps in the vegetation along the forest edges to prevent the fire spreading out to the widespread areas. So this can be done by using the fire breaks. So basically the streets or the roadways, basically the continuity of the forest region is being broken by the development of the like that of the unpaved roads or the streets in the forested region itself. Next, community based fire management system. So here training the local forest communities in the early forest detection and suppression techniques. So in case of any of the occurrence of the forest fire, the local communities will be capable of detecting those forest fires and thereafter minimizing or suppressing that forest fire or extinguishing that forest fire. Encouraging the afforestation with fire resistant tree species such as banyan, jamun and tamarind. So these are the species which are fire resistant species. So these species should be used for afforestation purposes. This will again prove to be a beneficial method to reduce the occurrences of the forest fires. Now come to the government policies and the global best practices. So first of all, the Indian government initiatives. So first one is the National Action Plan on the Forest Fires, NAPFF. In this, it aims to reduce the incidences of the forest fire by 80% by 2030. This is a government initiative of Government of India. Forest Fire Prevention and Management. So, FPM scheme was launched. This provides financial assistances to the states for firefighting infrastructure. So, whatever the firefighting infrastructure and the gears that are required for suppressing the actual occurrences of the forest fires, these for this the financial assistance to the state governments is being provided by the central government. Eco sensitive zone policy has been introduced. In this, it restricts the human activities in high risk wildfire prone areas or the forest. So tourism and the other activities, camping, etc., gathering of the forest food, etc., that is restricted in these high prone regions, right? Now the global best practices. In this, one can learn from Australia's bushfire management strategies. So this uses the indigenous knowledge and controlled burns to prevent the mega fires, basically in the bushfire region. In Australia, the indigenous technique of intentional fire or burning down the available fuel in a controlled way is being utilized. Next, United States of America. In this, the National Interagency Fire Center implements the rapid response team satellite tracking and AI based fire prediction models. However, they had also failed this time, that fire that occurred in the Beverly Hills region. So this was again a disaster for United States of America itself in the state of Los Angeles. So what are the way forward? What are the techniques? First is strengthening the technological intervention. So basically, there should be expansion of the drone based monitoring, AI based satellite monitoring, and early warning system, so as to reduce the occurrences of fire and to early as possible suppress the wildfires. Strengthening the community participation is again an important way or a beneficial way. So training the local population and the tribal groups in the forest fire management system and utilizing their traditional knowledge also. Enhancing the interstate and international cooperation. So again, this is a very best way to reduce the occurrence of the forest fire, because the forest fires are not limited to any particular state, and also they don't know the state boundaries or the political boundaries, right? So the interstate cooperation will be beneficial. So actual occurrence of the forest fire in any of the state, if there is such a situation, then that should be informed to the neighboring states or the contiguous states, so as to reduce the damages. So learning from the global best practices in the wildfire control and mitigation techniques should be utilized. So whatever we can learn from the other countries best practices, whatever they are utilizing, all those things should be utilized, right? So here there are some questions which you can practice, and this is provided in our community post also. So you can go to our community post straight away and copy the questions related to this topic, and you can practice these questions. Right now, the small information for those who are preparing for JPSC civil services exam. So this is a set of complete 9 books that is available with us for the JPSC civil services exams in the English mediums, and those who are finding it difficult to have a good source of study material for the JPSC civil services exam can go on to order this set of books, and the contact details for ordering these books is provided in the description box below. You can also order the UPSC civil services books in English medium, that is a set of 19 books, and Hindi medium, that is a set of 20 books. And here you will get the free delivery, as well as here you will also get a discount of 50%. If you order it directly in the bookstores, you will have to pay much more than this. So if you want to avail this discount, this is for a limited period time. Go on to contact us from the contact details provided in the description box below, and you can avail this discount. And thanks for watching this video till the end. If you have liked the video, if you have found that video this is informative, then please go on to share the video, hit the like button also, because it is the source of motivation for us. Share the video among your colleagues, and do subscribe the channel, and also press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new such videos or whenever we are live. Thank you very much and have a nice day.